So, why is the family unit seen as so incredibly central, not just to society, but maybe even to our whole purpose in life? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into that very question, all through the lens of one really powerful speech.
It all kicks off with a story. Imagine this. A young boy just found out his father has passed away. He's just heartbroken, crying. And his grandfather kneels right down beside him and makes this simple, incredible promise. I will be your father.
And that tender promise, it really sets the stage for the whole idea we're unpacking here. It's the perfect example of what's called the family circle in action. Filling in the gaps, giving support, and stepping up when someone is lost or missing. Now, this perspective frames the family's role in a pretty specific way. The source actually calls parents and grandparents master teachers, but not because of what they say, but because of what they do. Their most powerful teaching comes from their example, which makes the family the ultimate classroom for learning those deep, eternal values. But okay, that's the ideal. And it's contrasted with a really big modern challenge. The source argues that this fundamental unit of society is, in a lot of ways, kind of disappearing. And this isn't just a vague feeling. It's actually backed up by some pretty significant data.
Yeah, if you look at the data in the US for almost a century, you see two really clear trends. The percentage of households led by married couples has been going down, and right alongside it, the birth rate has been falling too. From this perspective, that's a huge deal. It points to a real statistical shift away from that traditional family structure, the very institution that's meant to teach these core values.
So you have to ask, what's behind this shift? Well, one really compelling argument is how the whole economic role of the family has changed. Think about it. Historically, a family was a unit of production. Like on a farm, everyone's survival literally depended on working together. But today, the source argues that most families have become units of consumption, which just doesn't demand that same level of cooperation. And this change has a huge effect on the home itself. I mean, with modern transportation, endless entertainment options, all the digital stuff, it's just easier than ever for family members to live these separate lives, even under the same roof. The source uses a really striking phrase for this, saying that homes can start to feel less like a family center and more like boarding houses, with a lot less parental direction. So, with all these challenges, why is the family unit still held in such high regard in this particular belief system? Well, this gets us to the core doctrine, the real why behind the whole thing. The source describes the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as a family-centered church. What that means is that the very purpose of life and even your relationship with God is all understood through the framework of family. It's not just an important social thing, it's fundamental to the entire way of believing. And check out this other powerful story that shows this idea in action. There's a widowed mother raising her kids all by herself. It's incredibly tough, obviously, but she teaches them this one core belief, that because she and their father were married in a temple, their family bond is actually eternal. I mean, think about how that reframes something as final as death. From this viewpoint, their father wasn't truly gone. He was just away temporarily, doing a different work. This perspective kept his presence totally alive in the home, hammering home that idea that their family was eternal and that not even death could break it. Okay, so you've got this ideal of an eternal family on one hand and the modern reality of boarding house homes on the other. So how do you bridge that gap? Well, the source offers a pretty clear path forward, and it's called turning the family on. The solution that's proposed is framed as a direct answer, a remedy for all the selfishness and individualism of modern life. It's basically a call to action to deliberately push back against those trends by strengthening the family from the inside out. And it really boils down to three key things. First, follow Christ. That provides the foundation. Second, really commit to serving one another, which totally shifts the focus from me to we. And third, and this is maybe the biggest challenge for modern life, turn the technologies off. Consciously make that unfiltered time to just connect. And this all leads to a super simple but honestly profound reminder. At the end of the day, past all the scheduled activities and digital distractions, what kids and really all family members truly want is connection. What they really want for dinner is your time and your undivided attention. And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. In our own lives, with all the pressures of the world today, what does it really take to turn a family on? What are the small changes we could make that might have the biggest impact on strengthening those bonds that matter most? It's definitely a question worth thinking about.